unbelievable Thursday for you today. We got Tiffany from Vague Rods. We got Dave Burris, one of my closest, longest friends. It's going to be hard to find anybody that's known me longer than Dave Burris. He knows where all the bodies are buried. He's definitely one of those guys you want to sit down and have a cup of coffee with and find out who Dave Hansen really is, because he knows. And then my buddy Adam Cargill, who's taken this little sport fishing thing that he got into when he was a kid and taken it to a whole different level. And a lot of you have seen all three of these people on my podcast before. Today, we're going to have a great time talking rod building. Adam's been in the rod building thing for a while. Dave Burr's been in it since he was 9 years old. Tiffany kind of was born in it, didn't have a choice. David handed her a rod when she could walk, and she's been wrapping rods ever since. We got a lot to talk about. And Adam, we're going to bring you in to start off with, just to get everybody all fired up. You just got back from an incredible trip, right?
Oh gosh, Dave, just a trip of a lifetime. I'm so blessed to have been able to do that the way I did it. Alijos Rocks is not very close to here. It's 600 miles away. And I got to do it on my own boat that I run instead of on a long range boat where I was, where I forced to do it on their timing. Right. So yeah, really, really special trip. We caught so many fish. I mean, I can't, we'll tell some stories here in a little bit, but the fishing was about as good as it gets for yellowtail and yellowfin tuna. We got there in the morning. Our first bait down was a 30-pound yellowtail, and it didn't stop from there. And it was one of those things where you're like, okay, do I want to go put a flying fish out on the kite and catch a 110-pound yellowfin, or do I want to try and catch the biggest yellowtail of my life, or do I want to pick up the surface iron and catch a yellowtail or a yellowfin tuna, or do I want to try and fly line a sardine and catch a yellowtail that way? I mean, it was like being in an aquarium. It was as advertised. Alijos Rocks as advertised.
Yeah, the pictures, Eric Smith sent me some pictures. I'm trying to load them up while we're talking, and I got one coming to you guys here to show you one of these beautiful gray yellowtail. You know what was really cool, Adam? We had Tim Ekstrom and Roy Rose fishing live, and they were supposed to go to Alijos and be live on the show on Tuesday, but what ended up happening is they went out there and they said, you caught all the fish, so they ended up running back into the ridge, and they were fishing the 23s, and it was full speed there on the big yellows and the yellowfin tuna. We had a great live show with those two knuckleheads. It was kind of fun to see what was going on. But they said, thanks a lot for catching all those fish. They drove all the way out there, and there wasn't any left. Adam caught them all.
We caught them all. Yeah, so interesting part of getting out there. We stopped at an island to make some mackerel and catch some fresh flying fish. That's just something we do. We have to have fresh flying fish wherever we go. And so we stopped, caught some flying fish, but that put us a little bit behind one of the other boats. Luckily, the American angler, they decided to fish that tuna on the inside, and we got there just before them. We got there just before them, maybe half an hour, and got set up on North Ridge. And our anchor didn't really set right. It wasn't that good. And he ended up coming in and trying to push me off the alpha spot. And eventually I ended up setting up inside of him. And the American angler's chum was just getting pushed by the current right across our transom the whole time.
Oh, that's too bad.
It's too bad, right? And we were much shallower, much shallower than them.
Oh, nice.
But the fish were there. The fish were all right where we were. And it was catch one however you want, whenever you want, for 2 days. Pretty incredible. When we finally got sick of being on the anchor, we put the yummy flyer out and just started fishing, from shallow to deep and taking it off the ridge. And every time I hit a certain depth, I could look over at my flyer and know that I was going to have a 100-pounder eat it. I mean, it was call your shots, good as it gets. Yellowfin tuna fishing also. We pulled the planer rig around a little bit, and that's actually how we caught our biggest yellowtail. We caught a 50-pound yellowtail trolling with a planer rig. That's how that big one went down. Just phenomenal fishing. Once in a lifetime experience.
Kind of explain to everybody. We got a lot of people watching. I'm just loading these pictures, gang. So if it looks like I'm not paying attention, I am. We got a lot of people watching, Adam, that are like, what are you talking about? Alijos Rocks. Where's that at? Tell everybody you came out of Dana Point and drove all the way down there, right?
Yeah. So Alijos Rocks is about maybe 550 nautical miles from Dana Point. It's southwest of Dana Point. It's about 200 miles off the coast of Baja, roughly around Santa Maria Bay, Mag Bay. So it's about 200 miles off the coast and 600 miles south, out in the middle of the ocean. There's 3 rocks that come up out of the water, and there's a very shallow area leading up to those rocks, but that's surrounded by incredibly deep water. So essentially like a volcano or an atoll. I don't know what you'd call it, but it's out in the middle of the ocean, and it's not seen by very many people other than the long range boats that are doing 7 to 10 day trips, or if they're doing a 15-day trip, they'll stop there, on the way or on the way back. So it's very untouched. I mean, it's so untouched. It's so untouched, maybe you'll see one of the photos later. The chubs, I don't know exactly what they're called. We'll have to do a "Can you name this fish, Dave?" I'll send you a picture. But we had probably 500 chubs just sitting behind the boat, and anything that fell in the water, they would pile up on like piranhas, essentially. And that made fishing interesting. There's so much life. You got to figure out how to get your bait through all the small fish and to the game fish. Not a bad challenge to have, I suppose. But very much like an aquarium out in the middle of the ocean. Purple blue water, see 100 feet down, incredible.
See the picture in the background there right now, in the yellowtail picture I have up? That's Alijos Rocks, gang. There's 3 rocks. Kind of explain to them a little bit about how ominous that is to be in the middle of the ocean as you're coming up on the curvature of the earth and you start to see those rocks in the background, and you're like, oh, you start licking your lips, you start rubbing your hands, and you're on a private boat, which not too many people get to go to the rocks on a private boat, right?
No, it doesn't have. I mean, it's just the planning and just making sure the boat was 100%, because you are so far away from everything. It's not like you can pull into the marina if you break something, and lay up a day. I mean, you're there. Obviously there's a lot of food and a lot of prep, just to get there, right? And so we've been planning this for about a month, or maybe more, maybe 2 months of planning, and we got our boat down there. Yeah, it's an 80-foot boat and it's really comfortable, but out there in the middle of the ocean, there's no protection. It was 8 to 10 foot seas most of the time we were down there. We went through really tough weather to get there. Sleeping's not that great on the anchor, especially when it's wind against current. It's not an easy place to be, but the reward is so good that you have to put in the effort. Anybody can ever go there. I highly recommend you go there if you have the opportunity. It's not something you would want to miss out on if you could.
And like you said, the fish act kind of like they're starving to death, right?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, so every excuse me, all the tuna we caught, they only pretty much had flying fish in them. That's what they were feeding on. The yellowtail, a lot of them were really skinny and had nothing in them. They're little reef fish, little small reef fish. The fish did act like they were hungry. A lot of the yellowtail that we caught had flying fish in them too. It must be something this time of year that they can eat. I know that the red crab get in there pretty good sometimes, and that can be something. But it's those fish, they live there. They're just waiting for stuff to get pushed to them. I know all those yellowtail. They don't go anywhere else. So they live there their whole lives.
But the number one reason why most long range boats go there is for another fish that you guys didn't see there, and the other boats didn't see them either. Everybody kind of goes there for another fish, long and skinny, right?
Yeah, that was the original idea, was to go wahoo fishing, but the water was too cold. We were probably 3 or 4 degrees too cold for it to be really good. That's my boss's favorite thing to catch. That's why we planned the trip. Our timing was just off, so we're going to try again. We'll try again in the fall, and see if we can time it right then.
And that reason I brought that up, and Dave Burr spent a lot of time fishing Bradley and going down below there, and everybody wanted to catch wahoo on the first string. That's kind of what you go on a long range trip for, because you can catch yellowfin and yellowtail in Southern California.
Yeah.
But you can't, 2015, if that was an anomaly and there was some wahoo to catch, and now there's still guys doing how to catch wahoo seminars in Southern California, And here's how a wahoo seminar goes in Southern California, Adam. This is how it goes. I could do it with my eyes closed. I could probably do it sleeping. All right, you get up in the morning, you go out on your boat, you put some marauders in the water, and you drive around till it gets dark. Then you go back to the dock. The next day, you get up in the morning, you drive out of the harbor, you put some marauders in the water, and you drive around until it gets dark. That's a Wahoo seminar for Southern California. Crazy. But this Alijos rock fishing thing, going on a private boat, because you got to do it when you were working sport boats, right?
No, it was my first time there.
Was it really?
Yeah, my very first time there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
How bitchin' is that?
Blown away. Yeah.
What, Dave? That had to be incredible just to get there, Adam, right?
Yeah, just to get there. Yeah. Very nice of my boss to let me do that.
And then being with the Omni down there and all the stuff. Your boat is like, Adam's boat is like a Cadillac. It's not the fastest yacht in the fleet, but I'll tell you what, you're going to have a hard time finding a boat with more chrome on it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's hard to find one shinier. That's for sure. We're a shiny white boat. That fish is hard. We spend a lot of time with the fleet. They know us as the shiny white boat. So.
And the engine room is unbelievable. You go down there, gang, and you'll just be blown away. If you could put chrome on it, his boss has chrome on it. And then if it's got chrome on top of the chrome.
Yeah, polished, clean. But that's why we can do this. That's why I can actually go take the boat there, because he takes such good care of this boat that we can be confident. When we're underway, we were underway for 3.5 days just to get there. And then another 3 days to get back. Essentially, it's for all the systems to be operating for that long a period of time without failures. It doesn't happen all the time in boats. Boats like to break. So this boat's tuned up, ready for long travels. We can go a month probably. I don't think it would be any problem. A couple oil changes, we're good.
And your kind of deal up in SoCal is this Bluefin on the Kite. That's kind of your masterpiece. You kind of are. If you see the Castigo out there, there's a pretty good chance there's some big Bluefin right where he's at. He's not out there looking for those 20-pounders. You got it kind of dialed in with the live flying fish, the whole thing. Your boss has gone to a whole different level of allowing you to fish.
Yeah, he loves big fish. He's a trophy hunter. He was a hunter, in his younger years. We like trophies. He's had this boat for 20 years and been able to do all these incredible things. I mean, he's been to the Galapagos with his boat. And so it's to the point now for him to be interested or excited, it's got to be kind of a fish of a lifetime. We prefer to catch 200-pounders. That's our goal always. Catch one over 200 pounds. And we may not catch 10 or 12 fish for the day, 60s to 90s. But that 1-200 is way more than that for us. Nice to catch those really big fish. My boss lets me do it,
So let's talk about rods now, because Tiffany and Dave are here, and it's kind of rod building Thursday. We bring Tiffany on the show all the time, and she asked if she could bring Dave Burris on here, and you and I had already talked about bringing you on here. Think about this, gang. When Adam tells you guys, Dave and Tiffany, how many rods do you have on the Castigo?
Oh, gosh, maybe 40 to 40 rods probably.
And they're all rigged and ready to go when you get there, right?
Yeah, depending on what, some may be put away still, depending on what we're doing. We probably have, at the most, we'll have out about 24 at a time for the various things we're doing. But then there's a whole nother scale, heavier and lighter that might be put away depending on where we are and what we're doing. Yeah, I've got 3, most things are in pairs or triples or quads. We've got 3 matching kite rods. They're the exact same, so we can pick one up and have the same feel no matter what. And then you can hook up two guys and have another guy come in with that same exact rod and that same exact setup. And now we've got 3 tuna on the kite. So we try to be very efficient by having all those fishing rods. It's for efficiency, not just to have a bunch of rods out, not just to look cool.
And now, are all your rods custom made for your boss? Do they custom wrap them? They all have the same color, same layout?
They were for a number of years, and we just did an overhaul. It's all CalStar now. It's all CalStar Graphiter. They all match because they're all production rods, but that's the route we went, just for availability, All
right, gang. Those of you that are asking, yeah, that's a monkey up there. I just saw a couple of what is that animal up there looking at himself in the mirror? He's got Kelly's makeup mirror today, and he's checking himself out, making sure he's looking hot for the show. There he is on my shoulder right there, kind of looking out, going, "Who's that guy over there?" That's Dave Burris. I know him. Yeah, that's Marley, the Marmoset Monkey Gang, if you're wondering what the hell's running around behind me. And hey, big shout out, every single one of you. Big shout out. Today is Kelly Girl's birthday. She's 21 years old today, my little
Happy
girl.
birthday.
Yeah, Kelly Girl's birthday. She was stoked that Tiffany asked if Dave Burris, she loves you, Dave. She was happy you're going to be on the show. She's downstairs filling out some timesheets for Justin Bottrell, but she's watching you guys. So thank you for wishing her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Kelly.
Definitely happy birthday, Kelly.
Crazy, right? Crazy. So Tiffany, you're getting into this rod thing now. You're coming out of your recovery and you're starting to get into doing this. And I just want to let everybody know, gang, if you want to get in on these custom rods that Tiffany and Dave Burris is helping her out because he kind of knows the group here, and he's been with us since we launched the website. Well, he's been with me since we were little kids in preschool, but he kind of knows what you guys are all looking for: bass fishermen, barracuda, yellowtail, sea bass guys. So Tiffany and Dave are putting together a series of rods for just the Your Saltwater Guide gang with the logo on it. Tiffany's doing the artwork. She's laying it all out. Adam, it's going to be a weaves type of system. Dave Burris has made Kelly and I some beautiful rods: calico bass weaves, and white sea bass weaves, and yellowtail weaves. I mean, it's kind of cool to see this stuff. It's almost makes you feel bad, Tiffany, when you see them to fish with them. Tiffany's rods, Adam, come out so bitchin'. Here's what she hears the most: "Where'd you get those stickers?"
Dave, you know how to get underneath my skin.
Absolutely. But they come out so beautiful, and I'm trying to find some pictures while we're talking here. But talk about what you're doing, Tiffany, and how you're coming together with Dave Burris to lay out these rods for everybody. It's going to be spectacular.
It's been a little bit slow from the surgery, so I can't do like what I used to do of working from 5 a.m. till midnight. I fall asleep halfway through stuff, but it's starting to get better where I can function longer. And so Dave and I are working on, like you said, the rod builds for you guys. We're doing the schematics on it. We're getting everything ready to go. So pretty soon here, after we've done with the picto weave and everything, then I'll be able to show you a video, each step of the way we did on that. And that's one of the things I think I want to do is, as we're building this rod or these series of rods, have a video of step-by-step each way from, a little bit on the picto weave, and then, all the grips, and then actually weaving and everything. So everybody can get an idea of the process we go through when we're customizing a rod. It's not just something that you can, quickly just do it like a day. This is a long process for a weave. So that's one of the things that we're working on.
I don't even know how you do this. It's absolutely incredible. I'm going to show this rod to everybody here in a second. It's just downloading. And Adam, this is going to blow your mind. And this is the kind of stuff that Tiffany does at such a high level. She is like one of the best. Dave Burris met her when she was young, and he told her, "Stay with this. You got the gift." And you've taken it to a whole different level now, right, Tiffany? You've won some awards. You've learned from the best, Doc Ski and Dave Burris. Look at this rod, Adam. Oh, wait.
Which one are you
coming up. Look at this.
I'm scared. Oh, my dream catcher.
Look at that. That's thread, gang. That's not a sticker. That's thread wrapped on the rod. Is that insane?
Basket weaving with hair. Incredible.
When Dave Burris first sent me the first picture when he was making my calico bass rod, I was just blown away looking at all that thread, and I was, yep. They told me smoking that wacky tobacco was going to ruin it for me. I'm looking at it trying to figure out how the hell did you do that? I'm like, yeah, don't tell me that stuff doesn't do anything to you. I couldn't figure it out to save my life. I'm trying to figure out how in the heck do you leave that, come back to it? And Dave's got it all written down on a piece of paper. And then I'm like, every piece of thread has a number, and it's
Yep.
like, then they got a number to where it's going to go the next time. And then I watched Tiffany doing it, Adam, and I'm just blown away. And I got a bunch of pictures of these two knuckleheads wrapping rods. It's pretty incredible.
Do you have the pirate?
Yeah, I've got it. I'm just grabbing it here to put it out there. I think I got the pirate with, yep, here it comes. Yes, I got the whole thing. I had the weave part of it, but I'm going to show you guys the finish part of it here right now. How long did it take to make the pirate?
Oh, about a week and a half.
You got to be kidding me.
Well, that was before I had surgery. So that was when my mind was insane, and I'd work from 5 a.m. till midnight. And that's all I would do. I wouldn't stop unless I was finished with one section, and not because I don't like walking away from something.
Well, I don't know how you walk away from it, like I was telling Adam, and then you guys come back and pick it up later. I'm like, it's just so confusing to
Code
look
break.
at.
Dave Burrows, do you agree that we're always putting down numbers and writing down where we're at before we get up off our seat, so that when we come back, we know exactly where we stopped?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely have to have a solid numbering system when you're doing weaves. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And if you forget, what happens, Dave?
You don't forget. You don't
You got
want
to start over.
You don't want to unwrap it. No, you don't forget.
Look at that, Adam.
Yeah.
Can you see that on your laptop?
Incredible.
Isn't that insane? That is so bizarre. The teeth, the cheekbones, the nose, then the eyes. Can you imagine doing that? Those stickers are incredible. Where'd you pick those stickers
Dave!
up?
Dave! Yeah.
And I'm loading up the thread the way it's laid out right now. It's just incredible. And Adam, you're like me. All we wanted to do was put a guide on the rod.
You just put a guide on. Yeah. Can you just put those 8 guides on or whatever it is?
Right.
We're so hard on our equipment. We're not allowed to have nice things anymore. So all we have to do is go the production route. But having custom rods is very, very nice. It's so nice to fish with a piece of art. It feels good catching fish on a custom rod. It feels better sometimes, I swear.
When you look down and see that magic right there in front of you, yeah. Yep, it's a different feeling when it's the rod that you called Tiffany or you called Dave Burris and you said, I want this and I want it like that. And Tiffany can do anything, right, Dave Burris?
Yeah.
Got
Tiffany,
a boat
Tiffany,
logo?
just about anything you guys need. And yeah, she's up and coming. And her classes are a heck of a deal. I mean, if you think about how much it costs to learn how to do anything, in a school setting, you start looking at Tiffany's rod building classes, and oh boy, that's a bargain.
Yeah, talk about that for a minute. Adam hasn't heard about this.
Yeah, tell us more, Tiff.
Well, the rod building classes, I've got several different ones. I've got your beginning class, intermediate class, and advanced. In the beginning class, it's more we talk about the difference between power action and line class rating, deflections, and everything that people need to know about the rods that they're going to be building. Then we also go into showing them how to start wrapping the rods, because a lot of people that they've never wrapped a rod. So beginning class, they're really interested in it. But towards the end of the class, we do build a rod, and the first one is a diamond wrap. So we get a lot of people that have been wrapping rods for a long time, but never got into designs. And so they come in and take those classes to learn how to do the diamond wrap. I get guest speakers on that explain different things. It's all live. Then from there, we have the intermediate class where I teach about 3 or 4 more designs. We do marbling, reverse chevron wraps, and I teach them all how to do that. And I take them step by step the whole way. Then we've got the advanced class that goes more into, straighten your lines, more into a lot of other aspects of different, more elaborate types of cross wraps. And then we have the elite class, which is all about rod building. Then we just started this new thing that's coming up where, by popular demand, because everybody was asking, I should do this one. And that is what we call the 18-week course that's just coming up here. And that's all the classes combined into one for 18 weeks. So it's like in college, a semester basically. And it starts from the beginning, goes to intermediate, goes to advanced. So in that 18 weeks, you're going to learn all about, the different functions, the same stuff that we have in the beginning class. Then you're going to learn how to wrap. You're going to learn how to do designs. You're going to learn how to refurbish a rod. You're going to learn how to, just do all sorts of things. So we have what we call early bird special, because normally that class would be like $180 because that's an 18-week course, beginning, intermediate, and advanced. And this one, the early bird special, is going to be $130. Plus, with that, you get a free bats and blank to help.
Whoa! You
Yeah,
can't get the blank for $130.
So everybody will get a free bats and blank. I don't know exactly which blank it is. It just all depends. But you'll get, a free bats and blank to be able to learn how to rod build on. Some people, you can either build it as we go. A lot of people will do that. They'll actually be building, following along through my steps. Some people like to take it as more of a seminar setting, like they sit back, they'll watch, and then instead of rapping in front of all the people that are in class, they go and do it on their own, and then they'll send me pictures, is this right? Or they'll ask questions in the next class, okay, I had a problem with this. But in the class, when you're learning, if you have questions, I tell everybody, just spit out what the question is. Don't wait to the end. If you're stuck, I want to help you right here, right now, not wait till later, so that we can back up and you can, do it more smoothly, transaction with what you're working on.
That's a lot of information right there, gang. And the price, like Dave Burris said, is absolutely incredible. Lori is on here, Dave Burris. Lou and Rena Ballinger's daughter, Lori, that we grew up fishing with. And Lou would Lou be rolling over right now, seeing what they're doing, wrapping rods today? I mean, we used to get Lou to wrap our rods for us. We just want two colors. I want a purple and a black rod. And Lou would wrap that for us and put the guides on it. And like Lori said, it's all about the layout of the guides is critical. But now these two guys, Dave Burris and Tiffany, Lori, wouldn't that be amazing? If your father would see this stuff, he'd just be going, what the holy heck? Crazy, the layout now. I guess it's just amazing, right? That this thing evolved like it did, Adam, right?
Yeah. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, humble beginnings, and then what it becomes.
I couldn't even imagine. So, Adam, there's some super exciting stuff going on, right? I'm sorry, we're jumping all over the place today, gang. We got so much stuff going on, but this Bluefin has decided to start committing suicide as of yesterday. How much is your boss telling you we got to get out there right now?
So funny thing about our Alijos trip, we spoil ourselves rotten in the first 3 days, and we're like, well, what do we do now? What's more exciting or better than we could ever do here? So we drove the boat all the way back to San Clemente Island and went bluefin tuna fishing for 2 days.
From Alijos.
From Alijos, yeah. Why not, right? So as far as I know, as far as I can tell, there's about 3 different groups of fish right now. There's a fish that's south that's working its way up, and it's pretty big, and it's 20 to 250 pounds. There's a group of fish that's still at San Clemente Island. It's probably it is the first group of fish that showed up, I would say. It's the fish that's probably going to leave us, that group that's out there at San Clemente right now. And then there's this whole other group of fish up to 130 pounds, let's call them, that are on the coast. And I don't know if that's the beginning of this fish that's coming from down below, or if that's its own little batch. Like I say, I think there's 3 different groups of fish off our coast, and it finally decided to bite. July 4th, we want to bite now instead of being only catchable at night or only getting a couple shots a day. if you're kite fishing, but they weren't doing well on the sinker rig. They weren't doing well on anything really daytime on the party boats, on the sport boats, except for, the occasional kite bite. And it wants to bite now. It was foaming the other day. The last place I left it, it was foaming, and that was the first time we'd seen it actually foam all year. I mean, so much turnbird, hundreds of turnbird on one foamer, like it was years ago. And we found fish as close to we were 14 miles from Point Loma, and we were on foamers to 130 pounds the other day. So that's pretty exciting, and that's close to home. I think that fish is moving up and out. I heard like 181, 209 kind of thing. If the water was better, it'd probably be right here in front of Dana Point, within the next few days. If not, it may come anyways. Who knows? It may come anyways right here.
Something I want you to touch on, Adam, while we're talking here is how important it is for everybody that's watching and listening and all the members of the website and everything, how important it is to look, right? I mean, you're not going to accidentally stumble into this fish, right?
No, it takes a long time to find it sometimes. And sometimes you can drive right past it. I've driven right past it plenty of times because it just wasn't showing. Couldn't find it on my sonar. Couldn't see it on my fish finder because it wouldn't let me drive over it. And it was in a place, maybe a little too shallow for my sonar to work well, but not shallow enough to show itself on the surface. It's so subtle sometimes, these fish. There may not be any bird on it. It's, we call them breezers, but it's even more subtle than a breezer. You get a little stretch of water that it's an anomaly. It's just an anomaly in the surface, and you're looking at this water going, what is this? What could this possibly be? It's maybe a little softer, or the direction is wrong, but it's very subtle how wrong the direction is.
And that's what I want everybody to hear, because Adam, you're posting pictures. We lost Adam for a minute. He'll be back. He'll re-log on. But there he is. So Adam, I wanted you to help me out because you and Eric and a lot of your team, you guys are posting pictures every once in a while of what you're catching. And what I've tried to explain to my members is Billy Kay and Brandon Hayward and Dwayne Diego and Adam Cargill and these guys, they are spending days at a time staring in the gyro stabilizing binoculars and staring at the Omni sonar. And you're seeing these guys catch these fish and you're like, wow, the bluefin are biting. There'll be days, Adam, talk about it, where you're out there and you're the only boat that had a chance, or you might not even get a chance, right?
Yeah, there's many times we don't even get a chance in a day, and luckily I get 2 to 3 days most trips. So if I can't figure it out the first day, at least I've learned, and we generally put it together the second day. But yeah, there's many. You don't ever see the bad fishing. You don't ever see the bad fishing on Instagram. You only see when we're catching. And there's just as many days where we don't catch as we do catch. It's a challenging fish to catch to begin with. And that's the allure of them. I'd be sick of them if they weren't challenging. I'd be over it. I've been catching for 10 years now, but they are so challenging, and they act different every day. So it continues to, keep me interested. Very hard fish to catch. Very hard fish to catch. You got to be looking in the binoculars, or even looking at the surface. Just with your own naked eyes. We found them naked eye before because we couldn't find them in the binoculars. Like somebody will send us to an area, say, hey, they've been here the last few days. We can't find them on the sonar. We don't see them in binoculars. There's no bird around. And we just start going slow and we start boxing the area. And sometimes you'll see them naked eye and go, oh my God, that's them right there. It's just a soft spot. Just a soft spot. You're like, look at that soft spot on the ocean. Some bit of anomaly. And we've seen it with naked eye, and we go over there, put a bait in it, and we're on, and then dial in our electronics from there. And okay, now we can see it on the electronics. Let's go get around now with our electronics and see if we can duplicate this, make a pattern out of this. So.
And I thought that was super important because Tiffany's dealt with this before. Dave Burris, when he was in the industry, dealt with this. You guys are seeing pictures on Western Outdoor News or on the social media of all these white sea bass biting at the Channel Islands. Then Tiffany and her dad go out there and you're standing on the back of the boat and you're like, how come we're not catching them? Yeah, well, you saw the picture from one boat catching them. And Adam Cargill is very blessed. He has a phenomenal owner and he gets to spend time out there dissecting the ocean. The thing I want you all to understand while you're listening to this, what do you not do, Adam? You don't beat yourself up after you don't find them, right? You don't go down in the bunk room and start sucking your thumb. You start to figure out that puzzle.
Yeah, it makes me just go a little harder. Okay, if it didn't work out today, what did I miss? What can I change? And do we need to change techniques? Do we need to start trolling? Do we need to make a big move? Or do we need to try somewhere else where maybe there's some more active fish? And we have, it's nice because we do, I can make some phone calls and talk to guys that have been in other areas. But guys can do that on your website too, right? They can go see the different areas of fish. And you may, we made a 55-mile move last Sunday to go catch tunas because the fish that we were on were not active. And we made a 55-mile move to find fish that were active. We didn't get very much time on them, but spectacular. And it made our day, right? So there's lots of different facets to the bluefin tuna fishing. You could be in them and watch them all day long, National Geographic, not catch a thing, go right back out there the next day to those same fish. They act totally different, but they're biting everything that hits the water. So you can't, you gotta stick with it. You gotta stick with it. Don't be upset you're not catching them because nobody can catch them every day. Not even Dwayne can catch them every day.
Right. And the thing about, I want you guys to understand, and Adam's boat is doing 10 knots, full speed, downhill with the wind blowing behind him. And he's making a 55-mile move. That's a 5.5 hour one-way move, gang. So I want everybody, all the members especially, those of you that aren't members of the website, you enjoy sucking. That's okay. We're not going to judge you. That's okay. But here's the deal. You watch Tim Ekstrom, you watch Roy Rose, you watch Adam Cargill, you watch the who's who of the industry. They're on our web. They're on our code group, if you will. These guys are all giving me information. I've heard so many times, Adam, people go, Hanson, why would I get involved in your website? You live in Cabo.
Wait, you got the network. You have the network. And that,
do you think because I live in Cabo, Pete Grossbeck ain't answering my phone? Do you think because I live in Cabo, Adam Cargill ain't answering my phone? Do you think I live in Cabo, my sister with her 9 sport boats isn't answering my phone? I mean, come on, you knuckleheads. The code group is the key. Adam, why'd you make a 55-mile move? You didn't make a 55-mile move because you felt like it. You're like, I want to burn all the boss's fuel.
Yeah, no, there was 4 of us, or there's 3 of us working together that day, and we picked it. We all chose different areas to start, and 4 of us worked together that day. We chose different areas to start, and worked in different directions to try and find it. It disappeared the day before. Nobody caught it the day before, even though the night before sport boats were catching 40 a stop, up to 150 pounds. And we woke up that morning. We all woke up that morning, and all of a sudden, 25 boats can't find the tuna. And the tuna that we are finding, we can't get bit by. So I was in touch with kids on, 3 different guys on Go Fast essentially, and they made some big moves, but quickly. And they basically figured it out, and they called me in, and so I made that. I was hoping that I might find it between where I was and them. That was the goal the whole time. I'm going to keep looking on my way there because I'm. If it's all the way there and it was where I am yesterday, maybe I could find it between the 2 places, but we didn't find it between the 2 places. We had to go all the way into where those guys were. And like I said, we got in and it was foamers, and, you could slide a kite, you could slide a flying fish in, and we got bit on a nice one. You could have caught them on the popper. You could have caught, it was exciting enough once we got there to make our day. That's how we made our day.
The main reason I wanted to bring this up is because Tiffany and her dad, Dave Burris and Brad Phillips, and myself and Adam and Pete and all the different people you see on, we just don't have a magic crystal ball. We just don't look at the crystal ball and figure this thing out. We have a code group of people that are helping us out on the water. Adam just told you, he just let you in on a little secret. You're like, God, Adam, how do you do it all the time? Well, he's got 5 other boats working with him, and 3 of those boats can make a 70-mile move in 1 hour.
Yeah.
That's covering some area. The
Yeah.
Brandon Hayward, the Dwayne Diego, and Billy Kay, and the rest of those guys, they got boats that do 70 knots. These are the people you want to be talking to. And then, so you got to have a code group if you're going to try to do this offshore thing. And if you're going to do what Dave Bacon and Tiffany did all the time, or Dave Burris and Bradley Phillips did on the first string, there's another code group, Fishing the Islands, that are going to help you out tremendously. All this stuff matters, and it's all super important. Here's Captain Al Clowers, big fan of Adam Cargill.
Hey, Clowers, how are you, Cap?
What's going on? Just listening to all the juice.
Yeah, cool. Good to see you, Cap.
Good to see you. Happy 4th of July to everybody, a little early.
Yeah,
Happy
no,
Fourth.
thank you. Woohoo! So, Captain Al, what's going on in San Diego Bay? How's the bonefish bite, baby?
Oh, the bonefish bites full speed. And you don't have to go 50, you don't have to make a 50-mile move.
Maybe in your car.
There's a lot of stuff going on down here. The bass fishing's wide open in the bay as well. And the bluefin are anywhere from 10 to 40 miles off the point, splashing around everywhere. Yeah. And they bit the last couple of days big time. So
It's gonna be a good year, Clowers. I think it's gonna bite this year. That's my take on it. I think it's gonna bite.
Yeah, it did the last couple of days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But Captain Al, there's something that you and Adam do that most people won't understand. You guys are big game hunters, those 200-pound, 300-pound tuna. But when you guys have a day where you're on land, you guys will go grab your green bass rods and go bass fishing all day and be as happy as a pig in poop, right?
Oh, yeah.
You two guys got the disease like nobody's business. Dave Burris had it until that car fell on top of him.
Oof.
Yeah, it hurts a little bit bass fishing now, but I do it. I'll do it day in, day out, even at night. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Very relaxing.
But yeah, I love it. Adam's all about it too. You drive by Shelter Island launch ramp in the springtime, and there's a Ranger boat out there hooked to a truck. Nice shiny one.
Yeah, that tells people if you guys like to fish or not. It's just because Adam and I and Captain Al will tell you all the time, if you only like to fish for big bluefin, then you probably don't like fishing. You're probably not into it. You just want a picture to show your friends when you go to work on Monday morning. Look at this. I caught this. Well, no, you didn't. The captain caught it. You got to wind it in.
You know, Adam is one of the guys that's like on the high echelon of being very, very, very versatile from the lake to offshore fishing, you know. There's not a lot of guys that I know that I could say that about, you know.
Thank you, Al. Thank you so much, Al. That means a lot coming from you. It means a lot. Really appreciate it.
I like to fish for anything that swims, man, you know.
Well, you do.
When I'm fishing out of my own pocket, I like to go to the lake because it only costs about $30. Plus, I love bass fishing, you know. Bass fishing, there's, you know, you got 15, 20 rods on the deck, and they could be, you know, it's another fishery that you got to figure out, you know.
Absolutely, we should answer Lisa's question. Tiffany, you got to break in every once in a while. Don't be shy. Get in there and elbow your way into the conversation.
I don't want to be rude.
No, you're not being rude. We're a bunch of knuckleheads. We'll just sit here and talk about fishing. We don't care who's watching.
I'm sorry. I just didn't want to be rude.
No, go ahead.
Lisa had asked how long the beginning classes are and how many hours per session. And the beginning classes, if it's by itself, the intermediate classes, advanced classes, those are all 6-week courses. Typically about an hour and a half per session. Sometimes we go over if people have, need help or questions or something. So it's not like a standard, like how it was when I was doing it through the city colleges. It was where they had it standard. Okay, cutoff time 6:30. You have to let everybody go. Well, with these, there is no set time except for the time that we start. So that gives me more leeway if someone needs help or if they have questions or need something. then it allows me the time to be able to talk to them, because everybody learns at different paces. Some people learn very, very fast. Some people learn kind of intermediate. And then there's some people that have a little trouble. And I don't want the people that have trouble learning being discouraged. So I'll spend the extra time with them if needed.
That's pretty cool. There you go, Lisa. So there's no reason to not be involved. And there's no reason. The number that people couldn't wrap their head around that we talked about a couple weeks ago was when she tells you this is how much it costs for the class. It's not for each class. It's for the whole curriculum, right? That little to do. I got a 7th grade education. Come on. I really honestly do. I was there for all 7 years of school. I was. And then I got kicked out and my dad made me go to work on the boats. It was terrible. Damn it. But yeah, that's the cool thing about it, right?
Yeah, the prices were, I don't want to like gouge people. I want it to where the prices are very, very reasonable and they get something out of it. I'm not really doing it for the money. It's more of my passion of teaching people how to build rods. And so like the beginning class, intermediate class is like $50. Advanced is a little bit more, like 80. And then you've got weaving, which is more than that. But I try to keep everything really low so that, people who can't afford a $200 class, they'll be able to learn at least the basics for $50.
Okay. Gang, you can't beat those prices, right, Dave Burris? I mean, what you're going to get out of it is pretty insane, right?
Yeah, I mean that's a real bargain, and why people aren't just jumping all over that. They want to know something about building a rod. It's just crazy. You're not going to find it any cheaper than that. It's only going to go up.
And think about this, gang. If you take your rod down to the tackle shop tomorrow because you were out fishing with Adam or me or Al and we broke your guide off because we were flinging your rods into the corner, you got to go. That's going to be a big, expensive thing. If you can even find a tackle shop that has time to do it right now, it's hot and heavy right now. You're probably not going to get your guide, put it back on your rod. But you go to Tiffany's class, you're going to know how to replace your guides when they break too, which that's not an easy thing. How many of us have taped them on or glued them on with some super glue just to get through the trip because it's the rod I want to fish with, right?
10-pound Spectre and some super glue.
Yeah, exactly.
I've replaced quite a few guides on long range trips for other people.
Oh, Lisa, they are Zoom classes. All the classes are via Zoom, so it's online. You don't have to come up here or go anywhere. Everything I do is online. So it's just, like how they used to do it when the whole COVID thing was here and all the kids ended up on Zoom classes. That's where I got the idea, so that people that aren't just in California, but in other parts of the United States and well as other parts of the world, they can get on the Zoom class and learn step by step on how to build a rod.
I think that's super cool. I've tinkered around. My uncle, before he passed away, called me up and said, "Hey, come over to the house. I got a bunch of stuff to give you." And he gave me a bunch of rod, the rod, whatever you want to call them, the stations and stuff, the drying ones. Mm-hmm. Two giant crates of guides and all that stuff. And I messed around with it a little bit, watched some videos. And it's not, if you don't know what you're doing, it's not easy. But being guided through your course would be magical,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it would save you guys a phenomenal amount of heartbreak, and then you're going to end with a beautiful talent. Like before we went live today, Adam was telling Dave and Tiffany that he used to wrap rods when he was a kid before he became a big-time superstar captain on yachts. Adam, I don't know if you see this young lady. You have a new admirer. She's wondering how you got your teeth so white.
Oh gosh, they're actually so yellow from coffee and cigarettes. They just show up like that.
I was like,
you're like, oh, look at me.
I'm reading her comments going, what Adam are you looking at?
Yeah. I got the worst
That's
teeth in the
okay,
world.
Nicole. Adam's taking all phone calls, so just let me know later. I'll give you his personal phone call. He just been out on the ocean for a couple weeks. He could definitely use a date tonight.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I'm just working for you, buddy.
I was gonna.
Dana Point.
Adam, are you blushing?
Thanks. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, of course. Funny.
Here's the funniest thing, though, Tiffany, Dave, and Adam. As good as the fishing is right now, and everywhere you see it, the fishing is good. We got Captain Al Clowers sitting right here. He has 3 boats. You know what Captain Al Clowers cannot get? Anybody to go fishing.
Why is that?
Isn't that the craziest stuff? Justin Bottrell, Captain Al Clowers, Captain Pablo, those guys used to run every single day. I don't know how good the fishing has to get before someone decides that it's good enough to spend a little bit of their money and go fishing. I don't know what's going on right now. What do you think it could possibly be, Dave Burris?
Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling that we're in the middle of a bunch of people that's worried about where their money's going. You know, and nobody understands what's going on with the governments and everything else. So that's probably a big part of it.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell us that Bidenomics did not work?
Oh, absolutely not.
Oh, my God, I'm shocked.
And we're just waiting for Trumponomics to come around.
Yeah, well, there's a bunch of people that are like, why isn't it working yet? I don't know if you guys have ever been in the world that I've been in, but you don't get to walk into the forest for 4 years and turn around and be standing on the edge of the forest. You got to walk your ass back out. So everybody but unfortunately, the people that it's hurting the most are those of us that are working stiffs that have to go out every day. And Captain Al Clowers deserves to go out and take your family fishing, gang. I don't know what we got to do to get this thing going. Captain Al's been doing the live fishing trips. I think what would be really cool, Adam, while you're at the dock, I know if you and Al went out on his bass boat fishing at one of those San Diego bass lakes, I think we'd blow the internet apart.
We can make it happen. I got all the stuff.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
You could go teach Adam how to catch largemouth.
He would teach me something. I guess.
He's pretty good on that screen.
Just let me know, gang. I will support both of you. You guys put it together in the next week or so, live fishing from one of Al's lakes or he'll meet you wherever, Adam. This would be an incredible event to see. But, gang, you got to understand, our guys are running the best trips they could possibly run. The fishing is as good as it could possibly be right now. Remember, when you're going to book somebody, you're looking at us every day. You're looking at me. You're looking at Pablo. You're looking at Justin. You're looking at Captain Al Clowers 3-4 times a week. Think about that the next time you book a trip. Who are you going to go with? There's nobody that's going to care more about you than Captain Al Clowers, Captain Justin, or Captain Pablo. And you've been putting together some phenomenal kids trips. And the live fishing with the kids on the boat, my God, that little Bam. How excited was he when he saw his face on my Instagram page?
He was stoked. Hey, Bam's a cool kid, man. He's I get a lot of kid requests from parents that, hey, let my kid pinhead, but I'm very selective on who they are. And Bam is like, he's cool, man.
He got 20,000 views on his picture of his shovel-nosed shark, Adam. 20,000 views. It's so cool because
I took him back there bone fishing because either one of them ever caught a bonefish, and it was full speed. And then I put a live chovy on one of the spinning rods with 12-pound top shot. I go, here, man, fish this thing. You might be able to get a big corvina or something. Next thing you know, he's all bendo. About 10 minutes later, he's got that 5-foot shovel.
And Captain Al,
awesome.
You had somebody wrap those little rods for you. They're so fun to fish with. I was fishing it with 4-pound with you. Those little rods you have are so bitchin'. I would love to see them wrapped in the Your Saltwater Guide colors. That would be pretty bitchin', right, Tiffany?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know who made those for me was Chris Manning. He didn't make them. He had his father-in-law make them for me.
Okay.
But those things are like 18 years old, and the guides are still good, and they get beat up. And I've never had to replace a guide on them at all. They got Fuji guides on them, I think.
No, they're pretty fun, but we got to get Al some trips, gang. I'm going to throw Al's QR code up here on the screen. You guys check out Captain Al. Use that QR code. His phone number's there.
There's one of them right here.
Grab a hold of him and go fishing with Captain Al Clowers. Take your kids fishing, your grandkids fishing, take your wife fishing, or take some of your friends and go out on the Riviera and go chase those giant bluefin. Here's the deal with us that make us different. When Captain Al picks up the phone and calls Captain Adam's going to tell Al the true story of what's going on out on the water, because Al's got his code group. Adam's got his code group. They put the code together, and then they put you in the right place, whether it's on a bass lake or it's out there bluefin fishing. So just remember that when you're going. It's kind of important to know where the hell to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you'll get better fast. You get better faster if you get to go right to them a couple times. You know, and you can learn how to go back to them from there too.
Right. Right. And
you pay
personally, I want to catch fish more than the clients do. So it's harder. It's a harder day when they're not biting very good. You know, we work harder.
Yep. And they don't understand that.
Right.
Yeah, I do a whole thing. I have a video floating around somewhere that never ever tip by what you caught, because if you tip by what you caught, that's not fair to Adam or Al or Tiffany or Dave or myself, because you suck at fishing. That doesn't mean that we suck. I mean, I'm just being honest, gang. You can't tip by what you caught. I had a friend of mine go out on the overnight boat, wide open bluefin. Everybody on the boat got a limit. They caught nothing. Whose fault was that? That wasn't the captain and the deckhand's fault, right?
Yeah, there's little niches, you know, on a lot of my trips.
I don't know.
The people show up, and you know, especially the first timers that've been with me the first time, and whether we're rock cod fishing, whatever we're doing, it takes them a little while to get bit, you know, even with the hands-on training with the deckhand right next to them or myself, you know. So it's definitely not our fault when they don't get bit. We do everything in our power to get them bit, you know.
Here, I'm going to show everybody one thing, then we're going to jump on to Tiffany and we're going to get your phone number out there for everybody to figure out how. But I want you to watch this video right now, because the only reason you suck at fishing is because you chose to. Your Saltwater Guide, Captain Dave Hansen. I'm just letting you guys know we have a 7-day free trial right now. It's pretty exciting. You're going to get to look at the best fishing website ever made for fishermen by a fisherman. This website has the best fishing community ever created with zero negativity. If you're tired of all the negativity out there in the world, you must check out Your Saltwater Guide. The community is full of like-minded people just like yourself that just want to go out, have fun on the water, and share their experience with everybody else. No negativity. Did I say that? No negativity. Then, the other things that come with the subscription, you got a game plan that comes out every Thursday for whatever area you're fishing in. We'll make sure that you don't suck when you go. The other thing, 3,300 spots, and I teach you how to fish each and every spot. Because if you just want GPS numbers, they're worthless if you don't know what to do when you get there. Another thing, 500 plus how-to videos, how to fish for whatever fish you like to catch: white sea bass, yellowtail, calico bass, barracuda, bonita, bluefin tuna, yellowfin tuna, dorado. We got it all. We cover everything. Halibut. You want to check out this website, gang? Absolutely free. Give me a call at 949-374-0786. I promise you, I'm the only person out there that owns a website that's willing to let you have my personal phone number. That's got to make you go, what the heck? I got to check this out.
Gang,
YourSaltwaterGuide.com. I want you to check it out. I want you to be successful when you go out on the water, and I'm going to walk you through everything. If you're a member of our website, you get to talk to Captain Al. You get to talk to me. You get to talk to the people that are out there doing it every single day. We're going to put you in the right place all the time. I promise you that. You're not going to be disappointed. And then the number one thing is just to execute. Execution is the key to this whole thing. So check it out. Give me a call. I'll give you a free look. Don't be afraid. It's absolutely free. It's not Democrat free. It's real free. It's free. And I will help you as much as I possibly can to get there. I'm sorry, but I lean way hard the other way because there's a group that wants to close fishing in the United States of America, and they lean as hard to the left as you can. And I'm sick and tired of it. I was never a political human being until they started taking away my fishing. And now I'm pissed, and I don't want them to take away our fishing. I don't want to sit here with Dave Burris and Tiffany and Al and Adam and go, hey, remember back in the day when we used to get to fish?
Yeah.
Because that's how close we are right now, gang. We're that close. So when you all go, oh, the politics suck. Yeah, well, it wouldn't be if you guys would help us stop these potato heads from closing fishing. I don't know if you know what happened the other day, Tiffany, up there in Ventura. One of the sport boats, I think it's the Endeavor or something, they had 100 legal halibut on a one-day trip. 100 legal halibut. Is that an insane amount of halibut, Tiffany?
Yeah.
Come on. 100 legal halibut. So you know what that did? Now the Fish and Game Commission's like, oh, we got to close halibut fishing. It's so stupid. If we catch fish, we're doomed. If we don't catch fish, we're doomed. Tiffany, how can they get onto your classes?
Well, if you go on to vaguerods.net, under the class section, click onto that, and it'll take you to the intermediate, medium, advanced, and then our special, early bird special of $130 for all classes for 18 weeks. Just click on there, and you'll be sign up for it.
There you go, gang.
That's a deal right there.
Yes.
You can't beat that. And Dave Burris, thank you, buddy, for coming on the show with us today. It's always a pleasure to see you. I love you, man. And tell your wife we said hello. Adam, thank you for breaking off the boat cleaning. I know it really breaks your heart to not be able to clean the boat with the boys right now.
Yep. That was a nice little break for me. Yeah.
Captain Al Clowers, enjoy your 4th of July with the family, buddy. I'm sorry you're not going to be out there killing stuff tomorrow, but hey, hanging out with the family is pretty cool. Consolation prize.
It's got to be done. I got to hang out with the grandkids and the girls tomorrow.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
I just got back from the boat. It's all dialed in.
Now, are you guys allowed to do fireworks down there?
Yeah, so San Diego Bay has three barges, and Gloria Bay has fireworks. So there's 4 big giant fireworks shows that go off at the same time.
Oh, awesome! Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
I thought the governor of California said we're not celebrating Independence Day in California.
Well, we are in San Diego.
Yeah, let's be honest.
Whatever he said, he didn't get his way.
Oh, poor baby. Oh, well. Yeah, well, we learned a lot from him this year. We learned that water does not help to put out fires. I didn't know that. I grew up thinking water was the answer. So
you got to have it first, right?
Yeah. He said it wouldn't have helped. I saw the interview. It wouldn't have helped. Okay.
I don't know, but we're doomed. We're doomed. I mean, every 4th of July, it's a little scratchy whether the fishing's good or not. So hopefully it just jumps right back up. And I'm working 7 days a week after this. But if you guys want to go offshore or inshore, or actually to the lake, give me a call at 619-800-3474. Or go to my website, CaptainClowers.com. I got you covered, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. He sure does, gang. I want to thank everybody for being with us today. You guys have a safe holiday weekend. Be safe out there. And we will see you. We're going to take We're going to celebrate. We're not going to follow the governor of California. We're actually going to celebrate tomorrow, and we're going to celebrate on Saturday. So we'll be back with you Saturday morning, 9:00 in the morning with the On the Water report, but there will be no show tomorrow. I want you all to be out there enjoying your 4th of July. Don't listen to the governor of California. It's okay to celebrate the independence of the United States of America. You're not a criminal. Go out and enjoy yourself. Have fun, and I'll see you all Saturday morning. And happy birthday, sweetheart. Happy birthday, Kelly girl.
Happy birthday.